actually significantly, because my key research focus is business and human rights and the situation on conflict. And actually, my angle of the research is a solidarity approach for the corporate responsibility to respect human rights.
I remember the war previously in 2014, when I was a PhD student in Donetsk. I had to change all my plans at that time, and I didn't understand what to do, where to go. In 2015, I took academic vacation because I didn't know what to do further. Actually, I also continued to work, and I published 2 papers because I can work from home. When the war repeated in February 2022, then I was ready for this. I understood that this is a long-term war, and we have to understand that this is new conditions we have to live. So I recognized that there is no time for stress, no time for nervous. Of course, it is difficult, but maybe it was some push to find new opportunities.
The war had actually a devastating impact on the research in Ukraine in general, and in our field in particular. Even in our field of science, which is purely computational, it becomes almost impossible to continue the research. Because, for example, during the winter, when in Ukraine there were problems with power, it was impossible to do anything. It was impossible to connect to the computational facilities. And of course, the facilities in Ukraine mostly are not working because there is no power for computational clusters.
If we are speaking about our mental health universal training, that the piloting region for this training were Donetsk and Luhansk Oblast, and we trained almost all policy staff as well as social workers. And now they are out of reach. Actually, we know nothing about their destiny now, and it's quite hard for us because we were in very tight collaboration with them. And of course, all our work to train them, to teach them how to collaborate with people, how to interact.
The war turned the whole world around me. My family, my country, my friends and colleagues. Large-scale fighting around my city, Kharkiv. Kharkiv was a city of students. There are a lot of universities in my cities. And the war paralyzed the educational process and, of course, the research work. I couldn't recover from the fear for the life and safety of my loved ones, of my friends, of my colleagues, and of course of my students. Of course, I stopped my research, but I continued teaching with a great difficulty because I needed to support my students.
Everything that happened in Ukraine questioned the possibility of continuing the research, because basically you need to often you need to redo the experiment because the power went off, because there is a shelling or some other circumstances.
They stay at home or in the bomb shells or in the basement just only for surviving and understanding that next day would be better. I mean, we don't think about the research or other things. We cannot do it because there are more important issue about the safety of your family, of yourself, and so this is like quite. I think in this sort of situation, it's impossible to continue any research, or because it's a surviving issue.
So when the COVID pandemic started, I was involved in the big project that was called Psy Corona. Based on our experience in that area, we have received the grant from the Ukrainian National Research Fund, which also was based on trying to research the factors for resisting vaccinations, because that was a problem not only in Ukraine but worldwide as well. And We just received it. I think that was the end of 2021. So we were all prepared to research the vaccination. And then in February 2022, the war began. And after the beginning of the war, I was thrown in, so to say, into the mental health research, of course, because this problem became much more critical. From our side, we've done the assessment of the current mental health of Ukrainians, vulnerable, not vulnerable populations, internally displaced people, and so on. And with one of the aims was to develop the sufficient assistance.
In 2021, I embarked on doctoral research project with the goal of obtaining a PhD degree in law. However, the outbreak of war compelled me to put my studies on hold and seek asylum abroad, along with my family. This challenging situation disrupted my academic pursuits, but I remained resilient.
The concept of war itself carries a negative connotation of destruction and devastation. And of course, undoubtedly, the war has had an impact on not only on my career, but also all parts of my life. But nevertheless, I choose to approach my life with a positive mindset.